Before I begin, I want to acknowledge the incredible work of all the organizers of today's event, particularly Melissa, but the whole team for their work in putting this together. I spoke with a beautiful family that helped put these shoes together, which really, in a powerful way, when you look at those empty shoes, this is what we need to do to remember that the loss of seniors, the loss of life, these are smiles at dinner tables. These are loved ones. These are, in the words of a young child I met today, her best friend, her grandmother. She lost her best friend. These are parents. These are grandparents. These are our loved ones. And they are being lost in completely preventable scenarios. We are losing our loved ones. We are losing people we care for because profits are taking priority over people. This can no longer continue. There is no place for profits in the care of our seniors. The evidence is absolutely overwhelming that in for-profit long-term care homes, seniors are dying at a higher number. There's no question about it. We are losing our loved ones because dollars are more important than care. We heard from stories today from the frontline healthcare providers, frontline workers, personal support workers, and nurses who are being asked to do so much, who are giving it their all. And I want to commend them for their work and their courage in the face of this really difficult time. But the pandemic has impacted, has hurt most our seniors and those that live in long-term care homes. The vast majority of deaths have been in long-term care homes. This can no longer continue. And there's no excuse for it. In the first wave, we saw that long-term care homes were impacted. We saw that. We saw loved ones die. So there's no excuse in the second wave that the exact same thing is happening. How can we let this happen? This is a national disgrace. And so we are committed to fighting for change. And what does change mean? It doesn't mean getting caught up in arguing whose responsibility is. To a loved one who has lost their parent, they don't want to hear an argument about whose responsibility it is at what level of government. They want to know that work is being done. So we are going to continue to fight for national standards. What Quebec has asked for, what people across the country have asked for, they want national standards. What are the best practices so we can care for people in long-term care homes, so they can be protected and so that they are not bearing the brunt of this pandemic? What are the best practices? Let's establish those. But most of all, we need to get profit out of long-term care homes. And so what we are going to continue to push for is that the federal government has a direct role in this. They have a direct role nationally, but specifically with Revera. Revera is wholly owned by a federal agency. It is completely within the power of Prime Minister Justin Trudeau and the Liberal government to immediately make it public and to ensure that it is no longer for profit. The worst sites of loss of life are happening in many Revera-owned homes. This is directly the Prime Minister's responsibility, directly the Liberal government's responsibility. If they could buy a pipeline, they can make sure that Revera is no longer for profit, that it is completely public and completely run with the care of seniors first and foremost. Donc aujourd'hui, quand je vois les souliers aujourd'hui, ça nous donne un exemple de la perte. Le fait que quand on parle des nombres de cas des aînés, de nos aînés, quand on parle des gens on a perdu pendant la pandémie, ce sont des mères, des pères, des grands-pères, des grands-mères, des meilleurs amis. Ce sont des êtres humains. On a perdu et c'est quelque chose qu'on a pu éviter si on a pris les meilleures décisions. Donc, une chose qui est claire, il faut complètement éliminer le profit dans les soins de nos aînés, dans les centres de soins de longue durée. Il faut les éliminer. Et éliminer les profits et s'assurer qu'on prend meilleur soin de nos aînés, on prend meilleur soin de nos proches. Donc, on va continuer de mettre la pression sur le gouvernement parce qu'avec Revera, c'est un exemple clair où le gouvernement libéral a la responsabilité directe de faire quelque chose parce qu'ils ont le pouvoir d'arrêter ce qui se passe, de s'assurer que ce n'est pas les profits, mais c'est les soins des gens qui est la priorité. Donc, on va continuer de se battre pour les gens, pour nos aînés, pour les gens qui sont dans les centres de soins de longue durée. Vous pouvez compter sur nous. Merci.